So Matt, you're totally fine with paying your Tarkov fee once again just so you can boot it up on Steam. I didn't expect this from you. It's a little controversial, but since you are sort of the CM for Escape from Tarkov now, it's a little self-serving, I feel. You're kind of trying to maybe downplay this money grubbing tactic.
Can they make money without, money, right?
It's
really simple. It's really as simple as that. How can you not make money without money?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Tarkov is sort of a weird, it's like a live service game, but they're not asking for a constant cash flow, right? Like they get their upfront costs and then they get these like crazy, like, the darkness edition or whatever the heck they charge, $250 to get your little pouch or something. But they're not like a traditional live service where they're like, it's the next season, drop all this money on the game. Like they're not quite as well set up for it in that sense. They do resets, but are they geared around dropping a ton of money every reset? I don't know. I don't play as much.
No. Which is why I think they've been doing it the way that they have, where they keep increasing it. Well, not keep increasing, but they've increased it with the price of their Edge of Darkness and now whatever edition they have. So we're bearing the lead here. You have to pay for the game again if you want to have it on your Steam library.
Yeah. So you got to pay for it again. And that's, I believe, just to like, if you want to just log in with your same account, but you want to like do it via Steam or something, you got to pay for it again. It's pretty jank.
That's pretty stupid.
It's dumb. I feel like there's I don't know the inner workings of what happens when you launch a game on Steam, but you want to give them the code from your other. I really don't know how all that stuff works on the back end. Maybe they have to do it, but doesn't sound like it. And they're getting a lot of flack for charging some money.
Obviously.
For it. Yeah. Doesn't it seem weird that like, okay, live service games have sort of set up a good plan for how to make money. They're like, okay, you do like a new season. You come up with some skins, maybe you come up with a little bit of a season pass boost to sort of let you skip some stuff, whatever. You've got, they've more or less established what is acceptable and what works and what a lot of live service games do. Tarkov is like, they've got the reset. They've got an incentive to inject the game full of some new content and items and cosmetics and whatever. But they're just like, they go for this weird Edge of Darkness route and these other things there where you can pay money to get an advantage, but it's not based around seasonal stuff, which seems like it'd probably be a better formula for them.
Well, I think it's a couple of reasons. One is it was beta. It was in active development for so long.
Right.
And to be charging for seasonal stuff would be pretty hilarious. To be like, it's not out yet, but keep giving us money every month for seasonal content, because it's basically you were buying the game to be developed and now the game is coming out and now would be the time when you would start doing seasonal content, in my opinion, right? Because back then it was just they were making the game.
I mean, Google was beta for like a decade or something, I mean, we can slap early access or beta or not 1.0 onto anything out there, but when you're Tarkov and you're a game of that size and you're also charging $250 or whatever for access to play a version of the game with certain features, you're like, okay, at this point, we're treating it like a full release game. Like you don't charge, it just seems like an extreme amount of money.
I agree.
Why are we gating how they make money to a very specific type of release or a specific type of content?
I'm not defending Tarkov, by the way. I'm just saying the optics of why they may not have gone for seasonal content, because technically it was still in active development when that content could be seen as this is what I paid for with my money because the game isn't in 1.0 yet. You go 1.0 and it's for complete, then now I will be willing to give you maybe something. You hear what I'm saying with that?
I do.
So I think that's probably the big reason. And then so I don't know. Oh, the other thing is Tarkov. The problem with Tarkov is that it appeals to tactical, more authentic, realistic players,
hardcore,
and they don't want to have crazy skins, I imagine. And so it really limits what kind of skins you can bring into that game, I feel.
That's true.
Yeah.
You start coming in there with unicorn stuff and they're going to be like, nope, we quit.
Yep. Exactly. So that setting has made them tons of money over the years because there's an appetite for it. But yeah, you got to be a little bit more selective, I feel like, with your skins. But they can still do it. They just need to be more authentic with it. That's all.
Hey, speaking of crazy skins, did you see the and I know you played some Call of Duty, but did you see, or maybe not, you have it on your list. Okay, you put it on your list. Have you seen the gun skin that's like a roller coaster amusement park on your like assault rifle?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically somebody on the art team just being like, how far do you think, like, they're like having a contest in the art department where they're like, who can do the craziest skin that like Ted, the boss, is going to approve, you know? They'll be like, all right, Ted, here's my skin. He's like, a roller coaster? What? This is crazy.
Admittedly, it's kind of funny and cool in its own way. It's just that it's attached to what was kind of more of a serious game franchise that is now turned into literally clowns and amusement park weapons, I guess.
Yeah. Your gun has turned into a literal circus.
Literally, yeah,
which is very funny and very appropriate for the clown meme, which is basically what associates COD these days. Is
right. The reason why I had a little Call of Duty multiplayer on our little cheat sheet over here is because the multiplayer was revealed today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed it.
Off.
Well, was it cool?
Well, you didn't miss much.
I know.
Because, man, you watch that trailer and you're like, this is nothing new at all. I played this game for the last 10 plus years. Like, it is Call of Duty. It's not doing anything interesting.
What about the wall running versus boots on the ground stuff? What did it look like?
So you can like jump off of walls now. So there's like wall hopping, I guess, which can give you a little bit of boost to get into like a window that you normally would not have been able to get into, which is, I guess, kind of cool, but
parkour.
It is, it's basically a little bit of parkour. But yeah, the trailer was real by the book. Like, this is Call of Duty. You've played it. We're not changing anything really other than the jump. That's what I saw. They got like robots that you can call in as kill streaks, which is cool, I guess.
COD, baby. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm in the minority of the COD fan base where like my favorite one of the past decade was Advanced Warfare, where I was just like, they're doing something different and crazy and I like it. And it's kind of got some arena shooter vibes where I can kind of jump jet up in the air and shoot stuff from like up, like high up. And I got this cool mecha suit and stuff. But I also understand why so many traditional COD fans were like, this is not what I signed up for. I'm like, But yeah, the traditional COD has become so bland and boring to me at this point because they're not taking any risks with it anymore. They're just kind of recycling the same stuff that I'm like, as soon as it does something new, I get excited. Yeah. These mega franchises, man. I do think eventually they'll implode. I mean, once some big competition comes along, but speaking of big competition for Call of Duty, COD's biggest thing is Warzone, right? Well, Battlefield is coming out with its Battle Royale. I believe it's going to be called Firestorm 2.0. Did they already officially say that?
I have no idea what the name is now.
There was a blog post on their Battle Royale.
So it would be really funny if they call it Firestorm when there's literally a map called Firestorm. Hey, guys, want to go play Battlefield Firestorm? The map or the game, like the Battle Royale?
Well, they already ran into that with BF5, although there was no map in BF5 called Firestorm. But now there will be a map called Firestorm and potentially a game mode called Firestorm as well.
Yeah.
There were some leaks over the weekend for showing off destruction in Firestorm, and what I had seen from before looked impressive. They were breaking little buildings and stuff, and it seemed like they weren't really holding back. You could more or less break whatever you saw, but they're like, here's a skyscraper. Looks like maybe 10, 15 stories. I'm not sure how tall it was, but
they bring that sucker down.
Yeah, they brought the whole thing down and incrementally too. So they're showing off what is, I think, inarguably the best destruction we've seen in a Battlefield game, and it looks like it's going to be in the next Battle Royale. Which,
that's sick.
You know my stance on destruction in Battle Royales. I think it's like one of the coolest things to like enhance the gameplay and make it different from your kind of more static feeling PUBG experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine you got the team held up in the skyscraper. They got snipers. They've C4 mined all the entry points to get up to the high level, and you're like, you know what? Screw that. We're not gonna.
Yeah, get out of your tower, buddy. Get out of your skyscraper.
They're camping. They got it all. It's so hard to attack that, especially when they got all the entrances booby trapped and stuff. It could be really hard. Just bring the whole thing down, and either they die in the rubble or they got to jump out and parachute to the next place or whatever.
How difficult was it to take out the?
The guy did it in, I believe, about 90 seconds by himself.
It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick.
Yeah. He placed mines by the base of the major posts that made up the structural support of the skyscraper, and then blew them up. Yeah, it was pretty quick. If they add vehicles, which they are adding vehicles to it, it could be even quicker. You know, that'll just have to come with some balance, right? If it seems like they're leveling the map in 3 seconds, then
because that's the thing is you want there to be that the dynamic, but you also want to make sure that people, when they do get into a fortified position, do have an advantage because they got into the position. You don't want it to be completely just negated because someone has a hammer and can walk up and just whack a couple pillars, right?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about how to balance it, and it's pretty hard because I think from a developer perspective, you want natural destruction where you're like, oh, that tank missed, but it hit the building behind me and then the whole building came crumbling down. Well, the only way for that to work is if the building is made out of toothpicks and, you know.
Right.
So everything's got to either be super easily breakable, leading to this really cool natural destruction that seems to occur mid-battle, or you really just got to ramp up the health of buildings so that players can't intentionally level the entire battlefield in a matter of seconds, which is what we saw in Battlefield Bad Company 2. We actually have a game in Battlefield's history that let you destroy everything, and while it was really cool, it became a bit of a multiplayer disaster because players would just do that on certain maps, and then you'd be playing for 10-15 minutes in a map that looked like just flat ruins. You're like, this isn't fun. This is just, we're all just fighting amongst rubble.
I was just going to bring up the fact that we haven't seen this in the multiplayer, and I imagine it's for that very reason, because as cool as it is to be able to bring down an entire structure like that, by the end of the round, it's rubble everywhere. And that's what we've seen. Have you seen the before and after of the Manhattan map, where they're like, this is what it looks like before, and then after, it's like everything is destroyed, at least on the facades, which is really cool, but like still the structure and like the lanes of the map still exist, right? So it's still going to be incredibly immersive, but at least like the core structure of the map still is somewhat intact. So I think that's probably a good balance that they're trying to walk, right?
Yeah, and I said that I made a video today, Monday, kind of talking about the same thing, which is like Royale's a really good template for letting players level something to the ground, because you're not necessarily going to be fighting over the exact same point over and over again in a Royale.
Right.
You'll fight, if you blow it up, no big deal. You'll move on to the next bit of cover and stuff. But in a traditional multiplayer game of Battlefield, you're like, all right, hit A point. All right, if you blow up A point, the first battle there, and then you come back to it 7 more times throughout the match, and it's just rubble each time you come back to it, then that sucks. And we saw that with Siege of Shanghai. Players would drop that skyscraper right in the beginning of a round.
Now imagine if you could do it for everyone.
Yeah. You could do it for every building all over the place. You're like, okay, so we're just playing rubble field now. So
yeah, that would suck.
I think DICE has taken the right approach, but I also think that this level of destruction that they're showcasing could really make their Battle Royale stand out amongst kind of what is a more typical offering now of a Royale.
Speaking of something that actually does feel different compared to the thing I was talking about with Call of Duty, is it actually is doing something a little different. You know, it's bringing something not brand new, because we've seen this before, but not on this scale from what it sounds like.
Yeah. And also like Firestorm from Battlefield 5 was such a unexperienced game because it was behind a paywall. The core Battlefield fan base was not into Royales, and so the amount of people that played it was just like it was literally dead in like 2 weeks after it launched.
Yeah, it was fast. Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite attempts at making a Battle Royale. So while you could say they're copying that one, I would just say they're breathing life back into it, right? They're like giving it a real chance, you know?
Do we know the release date on it?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Also, this leaked clip was white box of that skyscraper. So
okay.
that
So
doesn't
probably
seem
still
like
ways
a
away
game
then.
that's launching in October.
Yeah. I heard rumors that it was going to be 2 weeks after the release, but if they're still doing white box, then
it's
that
white box
makes
in
me-
labs, right? So
Right.
if their labs builds are like 2 or 3 months behind schedule, then maybe.
Then maybe.
But
Okay.
it does, from the other leak stuff that we saw from the last labs, they didn't even have equipment in equipment lockers and stuff yet. So it seems like a lot of the features are not quite there yet.
Okay.
But I don't know what a big studio like DICE can do in a short period of time. It just seems like a little too close to be out the door that soon. But
well,
I'm all
because
for it.
I bring up the time frame because if it does come 2 weeks after the launch, I wonder if it will be free to play or if it will be attached to the base game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I believe the intention is free to play.
I would assume so as well, but
again, they've made blog posts on this, and I can't remember what is official versus what is
there's so much
leaked now.
There's so many leaks out there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they did make
It's
a
really
big
hard to parse.
official blog post on the Royale game mode, and now I just can't remember what was part of the official news versus what was leaked or rumors or whatever.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but it does look really cool. It's getting me hyped. Did you see that news that Arc Raiders is having a final playtest before its official release?
Oh, cool.
On October 17th through 19th, which is shortly after Battlefield.
Oh, yes.
6 launches.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get about a week to play Battlefield, and then they're like, hey, you want to check out some Arc Raiders? Which
I'm okay with that. Honestly, that's fine.
It'll be a nice little interlude. It's only for 2 days anyway.
Breather.
Yeah, nice little breather from your sweat fest of Battlefield 6.
Oh, you know me. Just sweating over here when I'm playing these video games.
Grinding those golden skins as you do. So, Arc Raiders, it's going to retail for $40. You can now pre-order the game. I think that's totally...
I think that's kind of all we all thought.
Yeah. I think that's on par. I think that seems reasonable. I'm happy to pay $40 for what looks like for what we've already seen is a very beautiful looking and sounding game.
I know there are people that were expressing concerns that it wasn't going to be free to play. And I'm like, why does every game need to be free to play? You know, I just like, it's $40 seems reasonable. Like, I know that's going to limit your player base a little bit because the norms does seem to be free to play, but if you're going to buy a single player, it wouldn't be free to play. Like, just because it's multiplayer doesn't mean it needs to be. Yep.
And also, how many live service extraction shooters are alive and kicking these days, right?
Very few.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there.
Well, take it back. It's actually gotten a little bit more diverse because you have the Arena Breakout that is now doing okay. I think that is free. Delta Force is free, and you got Escape from Tarkov. So you got basically 3 games.
In a Hunt Showdown, which
I don't consider that an extraction shooter though.
Why not? You have to extract in it.
It's not an extraction shooter. It's different. It's its own genre, in my opinion. 100% its own genre.
I mean, it's different. It is different. I'll give you that. But you do have to extract from around, and if you don't,
I don't consider
lose.
it. I don't consider
because is that because you're not really bringing loot with you? Is that
you risk loot, but you're not like gathering loot. You're not doing. It's pure PvP. It's just like a different kind of style of PvP game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If you want to call it an extraction shooter, you are more than welcome to, because I will agree with you to some extent. It just is not a Tarkov. It's not a Delta Force.
Okay.
It's not that kind of game.
I'd lump it into this category in terms of just it is a game that attracts people back for seasonal content, and kind of the gameplay flow is similar, right? You go in, you do a task, you try and get out, other players try and kill you.
Its first tag on Steam is extraction shooter. So there you go.
There you go, Matt.
I'll give you the win.
All right. So but there's not a ton out there, and I believe Hunt you have to pay for the initial version, or is it free? I think
it costs money. Yep.
Yeah.
It's $30.
$30. Okay. So I think that's totally fine for Arc Raiders. Yes, there is a bunch of free to play offerings out there, but let's be honest, the free to play ones they kind of look like free to play games, and they kind of play like free to play games. And Arc Raiders it's a AAA game, man. You hop in there and you're like, whoa, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. And sounding, like they've been getting a lot of credit for their sound, and they've been advertising. They had a sound trailer for Arc Raiders, which was like MS.
It was great.
Yeah, it was just playing just the ambient sounds.
The rain.
Yeah,
it
sounded
like
amazing.
Rain, creaking of the buildings and stuff. Yeah, it was very well done.
It's nice to see audio engineers too. Audio engineers also get a bunch of credit because they're usually not the people on the dev team that get highlighted quite as much. You'll certainly get soundtrack people that get a bunch of credit, but not just the guys who are like, oh, I made some really nice cricket sounds for the game. They're like, yeah, get out of here, Tim. Go enjoy your 500 down the credit list, like credit that you get at the end of the game.
It's the sound design is so fantastic. You notice it, and it's not because you notice it because it's like in your face about it. It's just so well done. You're like, holy cow, I'm just incredibly immersed right now. It's just every little
you feel like you're in this dystopian world with like there's life and there's animals, but then there's creepy robots in the distance and they're making weird sounds, and you're like, oh, I hear it. It sounds like it's about a kilometer away, and then
your character's shifting their backpack slightly and it makes a different noise, and
there's like low rumble of big explosions that are like far off in the distance. You're like, there's something going on. It's pretty far away, but I can hear it. Like, should we head that direction? It's just it's so cool. They use it as such a good tool for sort of not only just telling you what's around you and your immediate surroundings, but also attracting you to the next objective, or letting you know that like, hey, that sounds like there's a pretty big firefight going on somewhere in this area over there. And it's been going on for a while. I'm excited for it. I am a little bummed that it's coming out, or they're doing the play session on the 17th and 19th. It's totally fair for them. They got to do it. I think they're calling it like the stress test or something.
Stress test, make sure things are ready.
Yeah, so they're just going to try and load up those servers and make sure they're ready for launch. And I really hope they have a really big launch. Obviously, they're kind of going up against Battlefield, but different style game, so we'll see what happens with the community there. I'll be playing both of them. Hopefully most people will take that approach as well. Because I want to see Arc Raiders do as well as the finals is doing, and getting all this content like season after season after season. After
season. Yeah, I'm blown away by the finals, because like it's not a mega giant title, but it has been trucking away, and it's doing well. 17,000 concurrent right now. They've been growing for the last 2 years or 2 months. Sorry. Yeah, they're doing good. So
hopefully players have enough money to buy a few titles this holiday season, because the prices have been going up on game stuff lately. Well, you're not a console gamer, Matt. I know you're up here in the clouds with us PC elitists, but down below, if you get your binoculars out or your telescope, you can see the peasants down below, and they play with a thing called a console. And
I've heard of this.
Yes, the consoles, the price is going through the roof. PlayStation had their price hike several months back, I think. And Xbox has just had I don't know if maybe this is even a second price hike.
Is this the second? I think it might be the second price hike.
Yeah. So the Series X, I think, is going to $650 now. And then if you want the 2 terabyte version, it's like $800, which is pretty high for a console, man.
That's a lot. Yeah.
At that point,
normally consoles are going down in price by the, near the tail end of their life cycle, and not going up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think the Series X is at the tail end. I think it's kind of mid, right? It didn't come out. Maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows? I don't think people like having to keep upgrading their consoles. I don't know if Microsoft is going to do another upgrade soon.
So PlayStation 5 came out in 2020.
Okay.
The sucker's 5 years old.
Yeah. Well, they got the Pro now, which beefed up the hardware a little bit. And did the Xbox, is the Series something? Did they make a beefier version, or is it still the same thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, so it had so quick math, we are near like mid to
Okay,
tail end
yeah.
of life cycle if it's like the PlayStation 4 era.
If it's like a 7 to 8 year life cycle for a console, then yeah,
Right.
probably around midway through. Did you see, speaking of Microsoft, did you see that, do you know what Microsoft Copilot is?
Is it some AI thing?
Yeah. So you have it on your computer if you're running a Windows machine.
Okay.
Which I assume you are. Yeah.
I am.
You've been on Linux this whole time, Matt? That's impressive.
This entire time.
So Copilot is Microsoft's built-in little AI. It's the replacement of Clippy, but it's an AI Clippy, basically.
Of course.
And they're updating Copilot for basically a gaming Copilot that will pop up will be available while you're playing a video game. And if you're like, hey man, how do I complete this quest in Path of Exile 2? I can't figure out where to go. It'll like start giving you tips and telling you what to do and stuff while you play a game. And
it just responds, "Get good, nerd."
Yeah. And so like the way they portrayed it was like, hey, this will help you from, instead of having to like alt tab or like go out to a YouTube video and get your advice, you can just be like, hey man, how do I do this? I've got some problems with it though, Matt. I assume you might as well.
What possible thing could you have a problem with in this with this utopian design, sir?
How
dare you?
It's easy access to all the information that you could want. It just at your fingertips. All you have to do is go Copilot. Tell me this. I don't want to say that too. I don't know what activates Copilot actually.
I don't either. Never used it.
Oh, the podcast I'll shut down in a second if I say it too loud. Yeah, no, it's I mean, some of my favorite games are like Zelda games, right? Where you're like, I don't know how to solve this, but if I keep trying stuff, eventually I'll figure it out. And if you got Copilot running there and you're just like, hey man, I've tried this. I've gotten frustrated. It's been a whole 30 seconds and I can't solve the puzzle. And then you're like, Copilot, how do I beat this dungeon? And it's just like, try the ladder over in this corner of the room. It'll unlock a button for you or whatever. Like, that's going to be a disaster. And people will become reliant on that. And I mean, we're already kind of heading in that direction. But the idea of it being that accessible, being literally built into your gaming platform, and you can just probably talk at your TV or your computer eventually and just be like, how do I beat this? And it'll just tell you. It sounds horrible. It sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah, but also that's kind of on the person to just, I mean, we have gone down this path of instant gratification and everything is just got to be like now with TikTok and all that, and everything is very fast. But also if someone's using it, they're using it, and it's not like, Microsoft's, threatening them or anything if they don't use it because they're not able to solve a puzzle, right?
Sure. But there's like this thing where there was a point at which you could be like, you know what? I'm not going to get a smartphone. I'm not going to buy into all that crap and do all that stuff. But now it's like, have you tried, like if you try and make an appointment at the DMV, they're like, use our app or something, like, everything just has become integrated to it, where if you're trying to work around these systems, it becomes more and more difficult, even if you are holding out. You're like, nah, I'm going to be pure. I'm not going to use it. And I feel like stuff like Copilot is very much trying to do that, where ChatGPT has really wormed its way into my life in a big way, right? Where I'm using it all the time now. I've got it on my phone. I just open it up, ask it a question. It's incredibly useful, saves me a lot of time, saves me a lot of comparison, research, whatever. So it's become that thing. And I feel like Copilot could easily become that thing where you're like, oh, well, I'm experiencing frustration. Do I now want to continue being frustrated at this game? Or have I been so well trained by using AI in every other facet of my life? Am I just going to ask it real quick how to get past this thing? Because in your mind, you could be like, well, I'm a smart guy and I thought that this was the solution and that wasn't the solution. Therefore, this game is poorly designed. So now I'm going to ask it a question. Like, we've got those ways of justifying our little cheats, our little ways of getting around stuff. And I feel
like we're offloading some of our thinking processes to something else.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the dumbing of humanity for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder and harder to make smart people when we don't have to memorize a huge amount of information and stuff in the world.
It's not even memorization. It's just offloading stuff. Yeah.
Well,
why?
Yeah.
100%.
It's like history, right? If you can just ask a question to your phone and it tells you the answer, you don't have to remember those facts right? Because you're like, well, if I ever need to know that stuff, I'll just ask my phone again. So that's what I mean by memorization is like you learn history, you figure out the dates, you're like, this empire was during this time period and that, and now you can figure stuff out on your own and make those connections in your head rather than have to ask a computer what makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's concerning to say the least, but I read that article for Microsoft Copilot and was just like, oh God, this really, like, I mean, we could blame it on Microsoft, but every other company is going to try and do the same thing, right? Sony will try it, Nintendo will try it. We'll have our little gamer aids off to the side in case we get frustrated with our puzzles.
Oh, do you need some help?
Yeah. Luckily, we'll still have Souls-like games to just smash you over the head with reaction-based.
Yeah, there's some that you just have to get good with, right?
Yeah. But it could be real detriment to puzzle stuff or things where you need to use your brain and figure things out. Not excited for it. I read another article that was saying basically game studios now, their outlook on AI is swinging right now. It's swinging way down in terms of how useful and good they think it's going to be for the game environment, where they're seeing its limitations. They were doing poll. I read an article where they're doing polls on game developers, and the adoption rate and the outlook on it has gone way down in terms of what developers think it'll be able to do in the future. And it's mostly just because they're using it and they're like, it's giving us incredibly derivative content. There's a huge amount of copyright issues with it where we're like, this looks almost identical to this other game's stuff or whatever. Are we just straight up stealing their stuff right now? Are we going to be in a lawsuit? It's not innovative. And they're like, yeah, it's just going to lead to a lot of really kind of same boilerplate looking games, which is what we see from AI art. You go online and you see a news article or a post on social media and it's got a little image associated with it. And it's like, oh, gamers go to space. And it's some janky AI art that somebody punched into ChatGPT or whatever. And you can recognize it now because it just looks really kind of clean, yet derivative, yet you're just like, yeah, if somebody made this, they would have
to it.
Yeah. If somebody made it, they would have had a little bit more awareness of the composition or the placement of some things, and you can just tell it's got like a lot of little nuances that give it away, and we'll start seeing that in games, assuming that gaming companies continue to integrate AI to their workflow especially in the artistic side, but all other areas as well, writing. If the dialogue becomes really kind of boilerplate or something, that could just like, did an AI write this quest? Maybe could have. Yeah, it's interesting.
I am not surprised because I see it being as a tool, like we've always kind of thought it would be, and I could see it being used as a quick way of getting like a proof of concept out for a game or what have you. But it can't just make the game for you. Like you're still gonna have to put in a lot of time and effort and dialing it in and making it unique. Because you're right, it's only taking things it's seen. It can't create something brand new.
Yeah. Well, I think that will change a little bit, but we're at a plateau, I think, right now. The AI bubble, they're predicting may pop in the nearish future where they go, oh man, this is going to be the future. Oh wait, it's super limited and we're not going to see much progress beyond this point for a while. Bubble pops. Money gets pulled out of AI, and then the next AI model or major breakthrough happens in the next 5-10 years, and then money gets thrown back into the market. But I do think we're going to see a little bit of that AI bubble pop and the integration.
I hope it just isn't a huge bubble to the point where it affects, Oh boy.
Don't worry, Matt. Your Dogecoin is safe. It's insulated. All right.
Oh, good.
This is why
So
we go
great.
for
my Dogecoin.
independent financial platforms. Yeah,
Mhm.
Doge, baby. I'm all for whatever you want to invest in, Matt. I just wish you wouldn't tweet about it so much.
Yes, because you know me and my tweets. Yeah, just
shilling those.
just shotgunning them out there.
Well, it's mostly the Matimio coin that you're promoting these days.
Am I going for a rug pull?
Which
there we go.
As long as I get in at the base level, Matt, then I'm all for supporting.
I got you covered. Don't worry.
I want like 20% of the coins right off the bat.
That's fair.
Yeah. Didn't that like Hawk Tua girl pop back up after her rug pull?
I don't know if she popped back up, but
she made a post
I
about
haven't paid attention to
something,
her.
and it was like the first time she made a post in like months or something. That was like it's such an amazing story. She exploded over nothing, and then had like podcast and was like on really well-established podcasts doing interviews and stuff. You're like, what is even happening right now?
Her own podcast was incredibly popular. Hundreds of thousands of views per podcast.
Totally.
And she threw it all the way.
That's what's so crazy to me is like, you're sort of rising like this. I mean, obviously somebody influenced her to make a meme coin because it's not like...
I don't think it was her decision. I think she just got caught up in the whirlwind, and she had
some producer that was like, everybody's making a cryptocurrency these days. You should make one. She's like, whatever, and then probably got blamed for it. But it's such an insane story of just like flash in the pan pop culture insanity, and then it's all over.
Lasted longer than I expected her to last, if you think about it.
She's gonna come back. She's gonna have
maybe she will
a redemption arc, Matt. I want it. Hawk to a redemption story.
It's all about like, it doesn't matter, it's funny.
It's delightful and that's what I would say. It's somewhat delightful, and unfortunate for people who bought into her meme coin, but also come on, people. Let's stop buying these insane cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, agreed.
It's not 2020 anymore, okay? We
learned our lesson.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson. So you've been playing Dying Light?
I have, yes.
Yeah. How is it,
I have been very much enjoying it. It is very good.
It's such a pretty game.
It is, yeah. Have you played did you play Dying Light 1 or 2?
Yeah, I played the first one a bit.
Okay, so it's more like the first one. And I played the second one, and I had a good time with it. But I felt like they were over ambitious with their like scale and scope. Mm-hmm. You're like in a giant city and you roam around and it's massive, and the parkour is pretty fast because you got to run around an entire goddamn city, right? It was a big game. And it felt like I was playing more of an amusement park kind of experience where it didn't really feel like you were surviving, more so you were just like going from amusement park ride to another one, right? This one feels much more grounded, much more intense, and like you're actually trying to survive. I'm playing on Brutal, which, boy, was that a slap in the face for the first boss. Like, good God, I was like, what am I even doing wrong right now? It was tough.
Do you have to do that for all your streams, Matt? Do you have to, like, if you go on medium mode, does your chat like, come on, you pussy?
Absolutely
turn
not.
No.
Okay. No. I do like the challenge, and I feel like if I'm not playing it, like, I don't usually play horror games on the hardest difficulty because I'm like, I'm not here to like stress about the combat. I'm here for the scares and the
horror games aren't usually known for their gameplay as much either. So you're like,
right, exactly. So if I'm
myself?
playing something that's not mechanically where I'm like, I don't need to try. I don't want to try hard at a horror game, right? Medium. But if a game has some good combat, then I would like to try to challenge myself. So playing on Brutal, it is tough. When you die, you actually lose XP. You can't, I don't think you can roll back to a previous level. So once you hit like a certain level, if you get to like level 5, you can't go back to level 4. But yeah, you lose XP, so it can be punishing. Most of my deaths have been to falling.
Nice. So the parkour's challenging then.
The parkour can be a little, challenging. But it is It's really fun. I like the scope of this a lot more. People are saying that you can do the main quest in about 25 hours if you rush the main story, but I have someone who says that they're around 40 hours in doing, I think they've done all the side quests. So about 40-ish plus hours to complete like the full game, maybe 50 hours, which seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And yeah, like just more grounded story. It's not like super over the top. It's a revenge tale. All the previews are about you are Kyle from the first game, Kyle Crane, and you are a zombie human hybrid that was experimented on for years, and you want to take out the guy who did it to you, right? Like, revenge.
Nice.
And so it's pretty standard there. But what I really like are like the dialogue and the side quests. I don't want to spoil one of them, but I'm just like happily going through these quests being like, this is organic. This just feels like, yeah, this would be something that they would do in the apocalypse. And then they do subtle things where it just adds to the immersion.
Like what?
I finished a quest. So I finished a quest. I found a family that was hiding somewhere. And this isn't a spoiler. And then by the end of it, I'm entering out of this location. What's that?
You ate them.
I ate them, yeah.
You got to survive. It's a survival game.
Yeah, you got to survive. It's a crazy world out there. So I open up the door to leave this place, and the people I was talking on the radio show up, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to take care of it. We'll go make sure that they're safe, and we're going to bring them back to our base." Right? I was like, they didn't need to add that last part at the end.
Oh, right.
Like I would just
you could have just left, and
they could just left, right?
Yeah.
But they added that little bit, and then they handed me the reward for doing that and helping out as they arrived. And I was just like, that's just a nice, subtle little attention to detail. It's those little attention to details that are kind of permeated throughout the entire thing that just really just adds to that kind of immersion. And I liked it. I really liked it. They also made the chases at night a lot like the first game, where it is terrifying and you will die if you get chased by the volatiles. Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's going to be like 50 after you and there's no shot. You're not winning it. You just instantly die. It's nuts.
Oh my
so that's
gosh.
also a lot of fun.
That's cool. I like, your bit about the people showing up and handing you the reward and like you putting a face to the people you're talking to on the radio or whatever. It's such an important thing in games where obviously adding in that kind of thing is like it's budget and it's time, right? You're like, okay, we got to model out those people. We got to set up the quest so that it triggers properly and have them come in and do all these animations and this extra bit of stuff. But if you decide at the beginning of a game's development, like where you want to put that effort and where it's going to be the most important, where you're going to get the most payoff for like, all right, if we can make this experience seamless or make everything feel tactile or instead of them just having stuff magically appear every time they do it, you're going to see them do this process and it's just going to put you in the world. It makes a huge difference. And just like you were saying,
I agree.
Like, yeah, it doesn't have to be everything everywhere because sometimes it can get in the way and slow things down. But if you pick the right things to do it with, especially with characters where you're not just hearing voices on a radio, but you're interacting and seeing them, it pays off. And it's cool because like this is a game that's about parkouring around a zombie environment and whapping them mostly with... It's still mostly melee based, right? Or highly melee based. Yeah.
There's weapons and you use them against humans more often than the zombies. But
Yes. The typical zombie game lesson or zombie movie lesson. Who is the real enemy, Matt?
Who's the real bad guy?
Yeah.
Humanity or the zombies?
Did you see
always humanity?
Yeah. Did you see that they're still making Walking Dead shows or
yeah. Spin-offs and stuff. Yeah.
So is the main show wrapped? I stopped watching it so long ago.
I have no idea. I haven't watched it.
They keep doing the spin-offs, but that is like, I mean, it's turned into like a soap opera thing. It just keeps going, It
just keeps going and going. Yeah. I mean, it was their biggest show. It was one of the biggest shows like ever. It was massive. Yeah.
At one point you would assume people would just become immune and then rebuild society. And then Walking Dead is just like, here's our new society. No more zombies.
Yeah. Just walking Dan down the street.
Yeah. I mean, nobody, you know what annoys me about the most zombie movies, but 28 Days Later and some of the other ones deal with it decently, where like these zombies are just sort of these magical creatures that never seem to run out of energy, you know?
Yes.
Where they just keep
There's
going
a
forever.
mysticism behind them. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you're like, okay, like I'm all down for like some sort of virus thing turning them into these like brainless, we need to eat you type creatures, but they still need energy to continue to function. And like in so many of these worlds, they're like, oh yeah, the giant crowd of zombies is still outside 5 months later. And you're like, why? How are they still standing? Like so they'd sort of turn into these like silly things. And I like movies like 28 Days Later where it shows them starving to death and dying. And you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well, rage zombies would be if there was ever going to be a zombie, it would be a rage zombie, something that just causes people to lose their mind and go insane, right? Because an actual zombie, flies would have a heyday, right? Like those zombies would be nothing because they would be rotting, and then the flies would come in and just devour all of them.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be a problem after a couple of weeks because they would all be dead. There would be nothing left. Yeah. So.
And then if they're magic, then they're just walking skeletons or something. Like it just gets silliness.
Right. So I want to keep talking about Dying Light because one thing I really like is that immersion. I really like the immersion of it. We were discussing. I feel like at moments I have to go into like certain areas to get like kind of scavenge for items and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm out of this and this and this. I need to get an upgrade for whatever. And I have to go and kind of risk myself going into a place that's a little bit more risky, which I liked. But also the sense of exploration is really solid.
Mm-hmm.
They do like what you would find in most games where there is a map and it will show you big highlighted places like where your quests are and stuff. But then you'll notice like a barn and you'll be like, it's a nice barn.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get into the barn. And you can.
Yeah.
And then there'll be like a puzzle to get into the barn. And then there'll be like a reward at the end. Like I just randomly found like legendary items. There's puzzles. There's treasure maps that you can come across that will, if you follow them, will lead to usually something really nice. And it just has this really great sense of like, I wonder what's in there. And you go in there and there's like, oh, there was something in there. It's
nice.
It's a nice sense. So it guides you along the way. But then if you want to go in deeper and you want to explore, it also has that reward for people too. So if you don't want to bother with that, you don't have to deal with it, but it is there for people that like that.
Yeah. That's like one of the most satisfying things in any sort of exploration game is when they properly reward you for the exploration, where you're like, nothing's telling me to go over there, but it's interesting and I want to see it. And then you go there, and instead of it being like, oh, sorry, this is for like a quest that you're not ready for, so like get out of here and come back later. And instead they like, oh, it's a puzzle and you can solve it and here's your reward. And it's just such a satisfying feeling.
I will say one thing that does feel a little tacked on is the gear. You do have an RPG sort of system where your gear will have like 4 armor and 3% damage reduction against infected. Okay. And it's like 3%, 2%, 1%. And it can kind of, you get all of them for a set. You can sort of build for like a certain play style. Like I want to be more two-handed focused. But it's such a small percentage. Like you're only going to get maybe max if you have all the gear sets, like 15 to 20 total. So it's like, it's not like you're going to be revolutionary. It's not going to be like a revolutionary change over your normal standard gameplay. I also found
it does seem pretty low for that type of game.
Yeah. It felt a little tacked on. I get why they probably didn't want to go too crazy with it because it probably would mess with the balance and stuff.
They probably wanted to keep the gameplay open where they're like, well, what if they want to use a one-handed weapon and they spec for two-handed? Well, then the two-handed buffs aren't that good, so they'll still be able to come back and use the one-handed one.
Yeah, I think they did want to make it where you still need to try different things and you have to use different weapons for every combat encounter because you just don't have all the tools, right? And so I get why they did it, but it does make building kind of lame. There is you can't really make a build. Not that's why I wanted to get into it, but if you're gonna have that system, then at least have it be a little bit more interesting, in my opinion.
It sounds like they took a system, they took the concept from the traditional action RPG concept or RPG concept rather, and just put it in their game, but didn't modify it for their game in a way that made sense.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as fleshed out as I would like. But it's fine. It doesn't detract from it. But overall, it's a great game. It feels much more focused this time around. I really like it. I like it more than 2. I had my fun with 2, but it just didn't like grab me as much. And this is just like, damn, it's fun. It is getting. I think the reason why it benefits from being more focused is that it does start to wear thin a little bit, because there's only so many times you can kick a zombie in the face and have it fly off the roof. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
But you only do that for so long before it's like, okay, we've kind of been there, done that, and
I think devs have sort of, and we're talking about playtime. We've talked about this before too in the past, where you're like, all right, 80 hours, probably too long for most single player games,
right.
Real at bat, unless it's highly narrative driven and you're just in love with the story or something. But even then, like, relax. And so, yeah, coming in for like 26 hours, if you just mainline the main quest, like,
it's pretty good.
Probably leaves you at a place where you haven't done the repetitive combat so much that you're like absolutely bored with it. But it's a problem for a game where you're like, yeah, you can keep making areas and environments and stuff like that, but if you don't evolve the gameplay with the content, then you run into a problem of the game feeling too long, which is, it's very much it's an interesting sense, because I think we've all played games where like, this was the best game I ever played, and it took me 80 hours to beat it, and then you're like, another game, you're like, oh, it was way too long, and it only took you 20 hours to beat it. And the sense of that is like, okay, well, how much is it evolving and challenging you along the way? If you figured out everything you can do in the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then it doesn't add anything else, then it feels really long.
They have some cool enemies that make the variety a lot of fun. So they'll have like big muscular zombie bosses that will literally grab rocks and throw it at you.
Nice.
But if you put yourself between you and the zombie, it'll hit other zombies along the way, which is fantastic. There's one that will jump from zombie, like literally onto the zombie shoulder and jump from zombie to zombie and then lunge at you. And I was like, that's really cool. It's just interacting. It feels like it's interacting with the environment and what's happening around you organically. And they did a good job with it. So I got nothing good to say about. I got nothing but good things to say about the game. It's been a blast.
Cool. Well, that's good. I might have to check it out. Yeah, the second one didn't interest me as much. I enjoyed the first one and then heard kind of mixed stuff on the second one, but maybe I'll check this one out, because I do enjoy survival games, man. There's just something about them where if they do them right and you really are scrounging for things to stay alive and to like progress, you're like, it just makes you feel like it's you against the environment. And when that's done really nicely, you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I took your recommendation, Matt, your glowing recommendation, and I saw K-pop Demon Hunters.
I thought you were going to talk about the s'mores. Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I've had marshmallows.
How was it?
I liked it. I thought it was solid. And it's funny because we watched it because like my kids are coming home singing the songs from the movie, and I'm like, well, I guess we should see the movie. Somehow they're seeing this movie without us, and so we watched it. I liked it. It was fun. It was cute.
Nice. I haven't seen it myself.
Oh, okay. I thought you recommended it to me.
Nope, wasn't me.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought you were doing another bit thing, But
no,
it's fine.
I legitimately thought you recommended it to me, so somebody else must have recommended it.
I actually sat down and watched something.
Oh yeah,
which is I haven't been watching. I watched 2 things actually because it was on HBO.
Are you even a gamer, bro?
I know, right? I watched Warfare and Superman.
Okay.
Yeah. Two very different things.
Yeah, polar opposites.
Have you seen Warfare?
I have. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say I would necessarily enjoyed it, but very good.
Yeah, it's just a stress fest. From start to finish.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. It was absolutely brutal. Makes you kind of feel like, what is the point of all of this, And it was well shot. It felt like it was kind of almost a documentary where you're like there and you're just witnessing it happen.
Yeah.
And with the sounds and the direction, all of it. It was horrifying, but very well made.
Quite possibly one of the most realistic portrayals of semi-recent combat, because it is based on a true story.
Yeah, and it felt like it was more logistics than like war, right? Which is what war is usually about, communication and logistics. Just like, okay, where are they? Where are we? we got guys where?
Yeah.
Okay, calling things in, and that's what it
Mhm.
was.
Half of
And
it is like,
yeah.
we're here, don't shoot us, to like the rest of your
Right.
team, right?
Right, exactly.
Because friendly fire is obviously a huge problem in warfare. So you're
Huge
like,
problem.
hey, we're the guys in this building on this street. Like, please don't bomb us, don't shoot us, don't kill us or whatever. Or like having to coordinate with an armored column and be like, can you shoot the roof of our building? And they're like, are you, what? You know?
Are you, what? No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. But that part of it's really interesting, right? Because they're not, they do have laptops. It's not like ancient history or anything like that, but it's not, all the games and shows and stuff show everybody, they got their little tablet PDF and they're like, all right, artillery strike here, go. You know, it's not like that. They're like,
no,
they're rated, they got maps, they're looking at coordinates and they're like, you know, sending in.
it's all just like logistics and communication.
Mhm.
Where are they? They have to get it right. You have to get it right. If you get it wrong, you could be dropping something right on top of you on accident. Right?
Yep. Yeah, no, it was good. I liked it a lot. And similarly, I was like, I'm not going to watch that again anytime soon.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah. How about
Superman
Superdog?
was less brutal and a lot of fun. It took me a second to kind of warm up to Superman because he's not Henry Cavill. But I felt by the end, I was like, okay, I like this brighter, more... what is the right word? He just kind of is more of like hopeful in humanity kind of a vibe,
jovial.
which I really liked. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you see it at all?
Yeah, I saw it. I feel the same way. It was a more enjoyable film to watch than the Henry Cavill ones, I think. Which, you know, I don't want to knock those ones completely because they had their moments that were cool. Some of the fight scenes in those were like really badass, but yeah, it was, I enjoyed it a lot. I liked Lex Luthor, as ridiculous as his character was. It was,
he was actually using like technology to like take out Superman. I was like, okay, this is, okay, cool. He's an absolutely rich maniac who's really smart and he's doing that to take him out. I was like, yeah, that's great.
It's so different from what the Zack Snyder Superman ones were with Henry Cavill, because those ones were dark and serious, and like even the color of those movies is like just gray and dark. And
it's almost a black and white film without actually being black and white. Yeah.
He's like, I don't want you to be happy in this movie, and then and then this one is like super saturated. It's silly. It's quippy. He'll be having a conversation with his girlfriend and there'll be like guys fighting monsters in the background and he'll be like, oh, don't worry about them. They got that interdimensional monster. And you're just watching this mega monster fight while they're having like a relationship discussion, you know? And so it's got this sort of non-serious take on it, which I think is honestly the only other way you can go with Superman, because either he's wearing the red spandex and the big floppy cape, and you're like, I can't take that seriously because it's just silly. Right. So just go with it. And that's what they did. They just went with it and they kind of kept it silly and semi-grounded, but barely.
I like how it wasn't an origin story too. It was like, nope, he's been here for a while. People know about him. This is it. Like we're just getting thrusted into this world where he's a presence. People know of him, and we're just going to tell this story. Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
and it had good supporting roles and stuff. It wasn't a movie that I'm like over the moon about or like, you gotta see the Superman.
No,
but
yeah.
I was entertained from start to finish. And so
for a DC movie, it was damn good.
DC's been all over the map. I mean, I don't even lump Christopher Nolan movies into DC films.
Oh no,
either,
no, that's not. Yeah, it wouldn't be fair. The only other I would argue good DC film has been The Batman.
And honestly, what's so weird about the Batman is it was done artfully, and like I liked a lot of the things that they were doing. And now, if you ask me about it, I'm like, I can barely tell you more than 2 scenes from that film. Like,
I mean, there was a scene where he's in the car chase and he's, flying through the fire. And
that's the only scene I can remember, Matt.
It's so sick.
It was really cool. And like then sort of I remember the interview that he had with like the Riddler guy, and That's like almost all I can remember from the film. I'm like,
Okay, I remember a lot more. I remember the intro where they're scared of, they keep thinking the Batman's gonna show up. I remember, yeah, I loved that movie. I thought it was great. The hall scene where like the guns are shooting and you see the flash of light, and that's the only thing that illuminates as he's literally pummeling these people into oblivion.
Yeah,
that was also dope.
Was that a one-off, or are they gonna do more?
They're apparently doing more.
Okay, because they did the whole penguin thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which I actually liked. I thought the Penguin show was quite good.
I still need to finish that.
Yeah,
it was good. I don't know why I stopped.
I know. That happens to me a lot these days, where I'm like, I'm liking this show, and then I don't finish it. Like I didn't finish Andor season 2, and I'm like, but I was really liking it. I don't know why I stopped watching it. I liked everything.
Why
I
do I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started listening to more of the Expanse on audiobook. I'm picking up where the show left off. I'm just really enjoying my second watch through of the Expanse. It's like, I think I'm enjoying it more the second time even. And I had liked it a lot the first time. So now I'm like, well, I got to know what happens after the show. Like I can't leave it there. And the books are setting up some pretty fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, because you can go any direction you want after the show ends, really, because quite literally the universe is available to you for options.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that. And again, just like incredibly impressed with the depth of the Expanse and the narrative arcs and how much the characters in the universe change from start to finish of that show. It's just a solid experience.
Yeah.
Even in like the weird seasons where like they're doing weird stuff, where there's like that season where they're on that planet and dealing with like this sort of small issue between like just a few people and a few other people, and you're like, they were like saving the universe in the last season, and now they're dealing with this peasant squabble or whatever. Like this feels weird, but it was also good at the same time.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, it still had some really important and interesting stuff going on in the background. Yeah, I can't recommend that show enough if people haven't seen it.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting in the books, and I'll let you know how those end up. There's 3 of them.
I probably need to read them myself.
Yeah, I thought they were somebody said they take place way later, but it's only like
that was my
30
impression too.
Years later. So,
I mean, that's way later.
It is way later.
The life of a person.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that it was actually. I wasn't even sure if it was going to continue the narrative arc of the same characters. When they said way later, I was like, well, like 200 years later, 300 years later.
I gotcha. Yeah, and in the time frame of the solar system, not even a blink of an eye. Not even a blink. But for us,
it's true.
It's wild.
It is interesting to think about when you're like, oh, my entire life spans nothing.
We don't need existential dread today, level cap. You cool your jets, young man.
I wasn't giving you dread. I was just gonna humble everybody in the,
your insignificance in the universe.
Exactly.
You could easily start to dive into existential dread. Come on now. I've been down this route many nights late at night where I just can't sleep, and then this starts popping up. Trust me. Don't worry. I've gone down that route.
I don't know why that makes me smile, just thinking of you like lying awake at night like, oh, I don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Give me a call next time you can't sleep, man. I'll cheer you up.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was on the table. I'll have to take you up on it.
Yeah, that's what friends are
for. You get a call in the middle of the night. Matt? I can't sleep, bro.
Oh man, it was like a year ago, but like my son like called me into his room and was just like, I just realized that we're all gonna die someday. And I was like, oh, all right, here we go on that conversation.
Yeah.
He was having the same thoughts as you, Matt. You're just like existential dread.
Yeah.
I talked him down. He's all right now.
Good. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
It does indeed. Well, what games are you looking forward to this week?
So we've got Hades 2. There's Silent Hill F, which is apparently getting some really good reviews.
Yeah.
That's
Hades
so
2
that's
is
both on the 25th.
Thursday. Oh yeah, 25th. All right, it's gonna be hot.
And then there's this little game you may have heard of called Battlefield 6 coming out on October 10th, which is about 17 days away from recording of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple games coming out soon.
Things are about to pop off, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, they're getting big. I thought I was gonna have a little bit of a reprieve this week in terms of work and stuff, but no, it's all starting. Everything's just starting to pop. It's like popcorn.
So someone made this really good point the other day, where people say that gaming is dying and good games aren't a thing anymore. I'm like, bro, I'm just going to reference to 2025 because if you have no grounds to stand on, 2025 has been absolutely insane.
I think that's a ridiculous thing to say just about
titles.
Any year, to be honest. Like, you could argue that there's been some slower years, but generally speaking, we're on an incline. We're just going up and up and up in terms of
I'm sure you've heard of the people who say that games are getting worse or they're mired with issues. And there's definitely issues for these titles. I ain't arguing that. But there's a lot of nihilism around like the game industry for some people, where a lot of people like to focus on the negative side of things, and I think they kind of spiral. Maybe they watch a lot of these doom and gloom YouTube videos, and they just assume that everything's like real bad. But then you actually sit down and look at all the good games that came out, especially this year, and it is insane.
Yep,
genuinely one of the best years of gaming ever.
Yeah. I know, it's funny you say that because I saw a post the other day by some guys who do a lot of reviews of indie games. There's YouTube channels that focus mainly on indie games and showcase the stuff. And they're like, man, the indie game scene is just becoming trash or whatever. And it's like, I think you could get that perspective in the sense that like, there probably is a lot more stuff being developed and a lot more garbage because just on the scale of stuff, you're like, there's more good games, but there's also more bad games in the same ratio, right? So if only a small percentage of indie games are actually good, then, and they're getting more and more of those, then you're getting a lot more bad games. So from a certain perspective, and especially if you're a content creator or YouTuber where you're getting endless emails from indie devs to be like, look at my game, and they spend half their time looking at games that are just absolute trash, you could have that perspective as a reviewer. But then as a consumer, usually consumers hear about the big stuff, that rises to the top. And then every now and then you'll hear about some little stuff here and there that like maybe a content creator sheds some light on or whatever shows up in your little marketing feed. But yeah, you could get that perception that it's getting worse. But I think from the consumer perspective, it just looks like nothing but bangers are dropping left, right, and center. Like, what do you want to play? You can pick your genre, and you've had like a world-class game launch in the last 2 years easily, Like, what genre you into? Like you've got something amazing ready and waiting for you. Yeah.
It's been good. Can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean, I could complain.
And you do sometimes.
And I do all the time.
Especially about that UI, Matt. That godforsaken UI. What do you, do you like that Battlefield 6 menu user interface? Have you got? Oh, I think we were talking about this last time a little. Yeah. If you go deep into the stats on Battlefield and you're like, let me just rebind my key for a grenade or something. You're just like, dear God, where am I?
They need a search function like Call of Duty.
Yeah. More games are doing that now, which I really appreciate.
Which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also a lot of software too. I use a lot of game dev software for developing things. And like, they've just gotten so complex that all of them have search in their menus now, where you're just like, I need to like subtract this from that. I'm just going to type in subtract. And it's like, here you go. And you're like, oh, good. Now I don't have to remember which of your 50,000 menus that function was saved under. So it's nice. Software is getting smarter, man. Things are getting quicker, smarter. We're heading for a utopia, Matt. I'm sure it's not going to get worse.
A bright utopia with nothing but sunshines and rainbows.
Yeah. We might all be dum-dums in this future where we don't really have to do any of our own
As long as we're happy.
As long as we're happy and consuming, man.
Yeah.
We just got to consume. Consume those video games, baby.
And I am.
Yes, we are. We are indeed. Well, we could leave people on this.
No, it's good. It works good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not totally dystopian now.
Kind of a light week.
Yeah, a light week with, man, it's gonna get heavy. So enjoy your little reprieve while it lasts. We're not getting it behind the scenes. There's all kinds of stuff popping off, and we're gonna have to jump into some stuff pretty soon. But
Level Cap was trying to say that he got access to Battlefield 8 coming out soon.
It's true. I got early access to Battlefield 8. Yeah. Spoiler, dinosaurs are going to be in it finally.
Hell yeah, dude. It's taken way too long.
I know. Dinos with guns on them. It's all I wanted, you know.
They
won't listen to me. I've
you
sent
are
so
the
many
dino.
emails. Yeah.
You are just the dino.
Yeah. Well, I want my feedback to be like, all right, you can't spawn 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes on B point. Okay, that's just way overpowered. You got to mix in some Triceratopses, maybe a Stegosaurus, a couple of pterodactyls for scouting, you know. But that's what I want my Battlefield forums comments to start looking like in the near future.
Yep.
I don't know why they don't listen to me. They should.
I don't either.
It's just money
making just on the table.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for dropping by the Level With Me podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will be dropping the podcast every Wednesday unless there's some sort of crazy release that I have to put out instead. But Wednesday, whenever possible. If you guys want to support our podcast, check out our Patreon links down below. It's always nice to see new people pop into the live streams that we record on Mondays that is available for Patreon members. And after the podcast, we have a little live stream chat with people and ask questions, talk about life, things that interest us, maybe even outside of the gaming world. But whether or not, even if you are or aren't a Patreon member, you will always get Matimio's extremely helpful advice at the end of each episode. Take it away, Matt.
Mm-hmm. So this week's helpful advice is objects appear closer than they appear. Not only just in the mirror, but also in Dying Light 2. Your range and the range of enemies is way further than you think. It's the biggest thing I had to overcome in that game. Is I always thought that they were too far away, and then all of a sudden they're on you, biting your neck. So just remember that your range, you can hit them from further than you might think, and they can do the same to you.
Objects appear closer than they appear. You made chat actually LOL in chat on that one.
Good.
It's a Matimio quote right there. I'm clipping that one. Objects appear closer than they appear. Something like that. Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff there.
I may have mixed it up, but you know what? It's still good advice.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.